Okay, me and Ray are here. We're waiting for our lift because we scheduled one, not realizing nobody picked it up. So today we're gonna do this train ride that's really cool. So I'll record something when I'm there, and then tomorrow I'm doing that tour. So I plan to record some stuff for that too. And yeah, so far this place is so nice, bitch. Let me just show what you can see. I mean, we're kind of in the front right now for real, but it's nice.
We promise it's nice.
We promise it's nice. You can kind of see the views through there, over there. Kind of. The camera not doing it justice at all. It's alright, it's alright. I'll show you later. But I don't know what this audio sounds like because it is loud.
Oh, this is the dirt road.
But we're still down. We're maybe hitting this.
And then we have to hit this. So we just, yeah. So
Okay, girl, I trust you. I trust you.
I think we're going the right way.
Yeah.
Stay on the right side.
Ray, do it this thing. Ray, do it this thing. Child. Bitch, I thought we been off-road and we just got somewhere. We was not off-road. This is off-road. But we was almost considered a road. Got the helmet. Ray's a baddie. She rides a motorcycle. She don't need no fucking helmet. Hey girl. So the vacation is done. I got home a couple of days ago. I needed to like regroup before I came on here. There are a few things I wanted to record, but I just was like, what did I want to mention? Overall update, I guess, is I also had a gathering yesterday for Solvers that went really well. And I felt kind of like randomly emotional after getting home. I felt like I kind of cried kind of easily. Not like boo-hoo for real, but just like, you know, and I looked up just to see like, is there ever anything like people report coming back from Sedona in terms of experiences and stuff, and apparently that is something that's been observed in a lot of people, being more sensitive and emotionally vulnerable after coming back. And it said that the energy does blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. Nonetheless, I'm really glad I went, and it did, or not it, like I also, you know, been stirring up stuff just in my body and in my mind. And as far as the knee stuff and integration of all this energetic movement, my knees are still solid. I'm gonna, you know what, I should sign up for that today. I'm gonna sign up for volleyball. That will be the test. Now, don't get me wrong, we went on a day, there was a day or two back to back out there where there was lots of walking, like hiking style. How do I get this scale off the screen? I have this thing on my screen that I don't like. But anyways, there was a day we did a lot of walking, climbing on rocks. You know, like when I say climbing, I mean we're not scaling walls, but I just mean like that knee stuff. We was doing a lot of that knee stuff, and I kept, you know, I just wanted to get mental reps. I wanted my brain to keep seeing, see, we can do it. See, we can do it. See, we can do it. There are times now, two things now. One, since this energy flow and stuff I can feel is more integrated, like whatever changes happen, I can feel that it's more integrated. And so now my knees feel, they still feel younger and stronger than I ever thought they'd be able to. But that ridiculous level of buoyancy that they, I'm like not shitting you. It felt like there was so much buoyancy in the knees. It doesn't feel like a ridiculous, egregious amount of buoyancy anymore, but they still feel strong. When I push them, then they start to feel a little reminiscent of some of the old sensations, might be the right way to put it, but it's still like not as serious. But my brain does clock that. My brain is like, maybe this isn't real, because like my brain has learned through my journey with my freaking knees that we've gone through this so many times where it's like we're better, everything's better, and then like randomly one day shit comes back, you know. So I can tell my brain's having a hard time still trusting and adjusting. I still have a lot of my old walking, sitting, and standing patterns, which is really just still interesting to me because I didn't realize how much that was integrated into my life. I thought I had good knees because I could do, like I can get low, I could do all the stuff, you know. But no, these are good knees. These are good knees. This is different. And those knees before were good, but they definitely had a lot of like trauma, I guess you could put, you know. So let me see if I can get this thing off the screen. Give me a second. Okay, that was just a lot. It was just way too much visually. So yeah, the internal body stuff is cool. My shoulder still feels cool. That, when I go back, yeah, that's what I need to do very soon. Oh, I have to wait for, okay, I'm booking my volleyball ASAP though. And so the body stuff is still solid. And I'm about to sit down and interpret my dream because I feel like there's some information in there. I've been asking for signs. I had those tarot cards that I pulled yesterday. I pulled, well, Oracle and Tarot. And I pulled first Archangel Gabriel, speak your truth. And it's like, thank you, Gabriel, for helping me speak with integrity or something like that. And then the yes card from that same deck. And then from the tarot deck, I pulled Temperance and then Justice, which I wrote in my journal. Do I need to grab it? Yeah, I remember. But this basically saying, when I like kind of broke it down cohesively, was like, you need to speak up. First of all, if you're in situations where you're saying yes and you mean no, nix that, which we've already discovered from the dream and all this other stuff. But outside of that, you know, this is a time where if you really speak up and speak your truth and speak what you want, then things will go in your favor. And the yes card just amplifying that. And the Temperance card, I feel like, brought the message of, you know, be patient, stuff is integrating. And the Justice card, I believe, brought that, like, stuff's being handled and balance. Like, the stuff that is coming and integrated is balanced, it's aligned. It's not like you're going to be exhausted driving, you're going to be exhausted on the computer and stuff, you know. So I do have some ideas because the last couple days in that whole trip, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really didn't know what my next move was. And I softly have some ideas. I have to still work it out in my journal. But, you know, just things I've noticed with myself and my business. And, you know, sometimes when I drop things, like let things fall off, it could be a little period of just like, damn, but like, what was that for? That I invested a lot into that. But I'm also seeing the trail still of like, even though I may be changing course is a big way to put it because it's not that different. It's just getting to work with who I actually want to work with for real. I want to work with women. I want to work with black and brown women. I want to work with adults that want to make these changes in their life. And I want to show them how it's possible in a day-to-day life, like that it's accessible to them. I want this community, you know. So all that to say, you know, I'm still figuring some stuff out. But I went on a walk yesterday, and I've also brought my stillness meditations back, and I'll speak on that in a second. But I went on a walk yesterday. And I set that intention ahead of time too, of just like, so what is my truth? Because a lot of the messages I've been getting, and I've been getting them repeatedly, which is part of the reason I'm becoming even more receptive to them, even like the tarot reading, because I enjoy tarot and oracle and stuff, but whatever. But that was like another sign. Like in the oracle reader, she was like, this card specifically, I don't pull very often. I don't see get pulled very often. And the message was so cohesive. Mind you, I pulled the oracles and then I pulled one of the tarots from a different deck from the event we were doing. And then she's like, oh, you want to pull another? And I was like, sure. And I grabbed another. And they're all very cohesive. One could argue that you can make any of them cohesive, but I pulled a handful over time. These definitely seem to be on the money. And then even this, she had a silly deck. The oracle reader had a silly deck, and it said like, you're your own best friend. It said something else too after that, like other people blah blah blah, 'cause like something silly. But that really hit me, and I teared up. But also, like I said, I've been kind of teared up really easily for some reason. I do think it has something to do with that energy vortex or whatever. And so I sat there and I read that because that's obviously, y'all know that's my big thing. Oh, you know, always wishing I had like my best friend or whatever, someone that we really just resonated fully, that loves me as much as I love them, and we have, you know, we vibe, we have a close relationship. So like healing all this emotional and relationship stuff, and then pulling that card with the other cards, with the other signs that I received out in Sedona. And Sedona too, I was, you know, kind of setting intentions and asking some questions. I was getting some interesting dreams that weren't the most pleasant, but they were reflecting like my state. What I think is cool is the fact that this is late luteal for me, and this is how I feel, and these are my thoughts, especially for the trip when I wasn't starting with fiber first and having all that slow release glucose and all that, you know. This is a really good sign to me. Because this is like as bad as it gets, you know, the late luteal for me. So I'm like, okay. And so many of these signs between the dreams and the synchronicities and the tarot and the this and the that have been saying, you know, to stand on business with yourself, trust yourself, and speak. You're specifically the speak stuff. I'm getting a lot of messages in that space. And not figure out your next move. Nothing in the signs have been indicative of figure out your next move, whereas that's what I've been saying. That's where I've been at mentally of just like, fuck, bro, fuck. Like, what is our next move for real? For the realest of real. And I'm glad that I have some ideas after yesterday's walk. Miss Fig helped me out. As you know, I went over by her and my brain just gets, I feel like I could feel, this might sound silly, all seriousness, I feel like I could feel when I step into her field. You know how we have electromagnetic fields that extend from our body and our heart, like literally. It hasn't really been measured on trees. I don't know what it would be for, but when I get into certain proximity of her is when I start to feel the stuff. That's when I start to feel the lightness and the, I wish I knew what she was doing for real. I wish I knew what was really going on. But anyways, yeah, I walked by her. I shouldn't say by her. I spent some time with her. I held on to energetic thread and continued, and stuff just started cooking in my brain. And I came home and it was still cooking. And I had to jot some things down because I didn't want to forget, because I'm like, whoa, stuff is really cooking. We'll see, because I still got to crunch numbers. The math still has to math, and it has to be aligned. I've been really strict with that during this journey. This is probably going to be a really long vlog, but that's all right, bro. For real. One second. But anyways, yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought, so that's why I wanted to pause it. But yeah, there's also been some other big synchronicities too that I'm not gonna share, but that are also contributing to what I'm cooking up, and also just like what's going on. I feel like, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm not even emotional right now at all. I was just gonna say I feel like a lot is releasing. That's what I mean. Like, this is a really interesting feeling since I've been back, and I'm finally catching up on sleep. It's weird. I'm so tired. But yeah, I feel just I think I literally feel like I'm in the midst of some type of like software update. You know how when your phone is updating and you can't use it because it's updating? Not to say I can't do anything, but I just mean like I feel very still. I feel very calm. I have still those threads and feeling of concern, but the evidence outweighs those concerns a lot. So my brain and my body are just in a place of just observing right now, because so much has changed. So much has been released, like mentally, physically, like dead ass. So much has been released in such a short period of time. So much is my body's still healing. It's still like a lot for my brain. As exciting as it is, it's still very just like, because I want to settle into the comfort of like, cool, like cool. This is how I can finally like be excited about this. But I've also been excited about this so many times. So, it's never been like this. I'll say that. Like I said that before. I'll say that it's never been like this. My knees have never been like this. My shoulders never been like this. Blah, blah, blah. But still, so you got that happening, and you also have the fact of the financial stuff happening. I just did my budget yesterday, and I knew that was going to be uncomfortable for me when it came time to transfer the money, because I was going to see just how it was just going to become so real. It was just going to become so real that like, this is the balance. This is the balance. This is what we got. You really got to figure some shit out. But instead of avoiding like looking at the number and stuff, because in the pretty decently further past, but in the past, I would have just probably just kept that quick, like, it's fine, that's the total, and just kind of like ignored it, or not really wanted to truly acknowledge it, not really want to look at it for real. But this time, I I looked at that number. I looked at that value in my account, and I felt that feeling in my chest. I felt that tightening. I felt that energy constrict of just like, that's not enough, for what we want in our bank. It's enough for right now. Like, I'm cool for the month. Cool. But like, my month is not that long, you know what I mean? And I knew that was going to be uncomfortable for me, but I sat there and I just looked at the number until my body felt calm. Like, instead of looking at it, feeling that like, and then just like, let me just get off this tab or whatever, I was like, no, I'm going to keep looking at this. I'm going to look at this number and I'm going to accept it. I'm going to accept the position that I'm in right now. And I'm going to be cool. Some evidence that I pulled up for myself that was really helpful in telling. I was just like affirming myself and stuff, and I was just like, most of our opportunity, or a lot of opportunities have come to us. A lot of money has come to us. And then I'm like thinking of examples of past jobs, past things. And then I realized majority of my opportunities, vast majority of my opportunities with money and jobs have actually come to me since the very beginning. Like, literally, a teacher brought me my first internship. A lot of the jobs, even my career that I ended up deciding to go into, I bailed on all my other stuff, and I decided to go with a career that my mom did, or I mean, technically still does, but and then two other jobs in between there before were brought to me from like a friend or someone. And then there were two, because the one in college, like someone in my class just randomly told me about it, and I needed something low hours and chill. Another job, I happened to be with someone chill. I needed XYZ chill. That one job I went into, and I didn't even know that I was hired for real. Like, I was just kind of like trying not to get too excited because I'd been looking for a job back at that time. And I walk in and we barely talk or do anything, and she just already gets my social security card and stuff to get me on the payroll. I just like got kind of handed the job. There are two other jobs that are my first ones that I applied to. The first one I interviewed for, I got, which was also a theme in my life. It was always, if I get the interview, I get the job. Always. And yeah, that pattern just continued. Even when I switched from stripping, like even when I switched from the club, I shouldn't say switch because I never, those were done together. But how I found out about the flight attending was through someone I was working with. Like, and that is how I got there. And then obviously I quit that and just stayed with the club because that shit was for the birds, literally. And then my next job after that, when I was really like done with the club, was they reached out to me on LinkedIn, which, I mean, recruiters reach out on LinkedIn all the time, but it was just like they had met all my qualifications, like solid. I needed this, a certain salary. I liked salary jobs. I didn't really work hourly jobs after a while because I have real bills. I live in, like, we already talked about this. That's part of what be making, like, when I was looking at my budget, that's part of what be making it like, because it's like I don't even have a bunch of subscriptions or have a bunch of stuff, and the shit still be like, like for everybody right now. But yeah, when I really sat back and even like looking at my classes stuff and school stuff or whatever, I won't go into every single example, but when I really sat there and was looking, I'm like, so much of my life and journey actually has been stuff coming to me, especially after regulating my nervous system and, that just journey, especially in the past like 2 years. And what governs my decisions and when I move and when I don't and why and stuff. It really, that Pisces, if you resonate with the astrology and stuff, that Mars in Pisces and my Jupiter's in Pisces, which is really clutch. It's clutch that they're in the same sign, Like Mars, how you take action. Jupiter, where abundance flows and luck flows easily for you. Blah blah blah. Those guys partnering is already cool. And then Jupiter being in Pisces is like that's its home in a sense. And I see that in my life now. So, I'm still feeling good. I still feel like so much that has taken place is aligning for whatever my brain is putting together right now. But I'm gonna keep doing meditations. I need to do a what's it called? A hypnosis. So I'll tell y'all when I do that. I wanted to do a shrooms microdose with this one as long as I can handle it, because I also wanted to do the hypnosis in the sauna. My hypnosis in my sauna are the ones that really hit. I feel so it's a deep, let me just say that it's a really deep like experience. But I'm like, I already stack a lot of modalities, and I feel like stacking shrooms on top of that in such a confined, heated space might be a little overwhelming for my system, especially since I haven't been in that sauna for a while. My sauna is hotter than the gym. I noticed that. My new gym, my old gym, they were very close, so I didn't notice. But now when I go back to my sauna, I'm like, because I'm not used to it, because the one at the gym isn't even hot like that for real. So, I don't know, things to keep in mind, but I still want and need to do a hypnosis. I think that's very beneficial. I said this on here before, I really, truly don't believe anything goes to waste. I don't think any of our actions and affirmations and anything that we say and I don't think anything goes to waste. Any of this energy work, I don't think any of it goes to waste. I think it all compounds. Also, actually, that's not even going to be a big deal to y'all, so I'm going to let it rock. There's for me, a significant synchronicity involving my plant when I got back. Long story short, it just like randomly grew a whole new leaf that wasn't there before I left, and then suddenly like fully developed when I got back. That's a big deal for XYZ reasons, whatever. But because I think I mentioned on here before, my plants do actually mirror my energy in different ways, in different parts of me and my energies. I hadn't really fully figured out what this plant was mirroring for me. I need to look at what I named it too, because that'll help. But yeah, if anyone ever wants me to deep dive on that, please let me know. I would love to talk about the just mysticism regarding the plants in this house. I don't really get to speak on it because I know it's weird or random to people, but I don't think it's random at all. Especially because a lot of these have been here for like 5-6 years at this point. So, like with my energy and stuff. And I've done energy. It's just anyways. Yeah. Today I'm going to get some stuff done. I'm going to upload these vlogs. And at least ideally, I got to upload these vlogs. And I'm gonna do the housekeeping stuff. I don't want to push off this new stuff that I got to work on for my business, so I do need to figure out a way to integrate that during the week when I'm not, whatever. So I do got to do that, but overall, I think stuff is going well. I do. It's just it's just getting real, I guess. But I don't know, girl. But overall, I'm excited that I went on my trip. This month, I also have another spiritual thing that I'm doing. I'm going to this like big sound thing in like the middle of nowhere, and like we're staying at Airbnb, and we're like it's said to like your physical body like vibrates. It's this big like dome room. Like it's not just like a sound bath in the park. Even don't get me wrong, I love a sound bath in the park, but it's not that. It's like a thing. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I think you know, it's cool and kind of ironic that during this time frame I've had to now back to back, or back to back might be an exaggeration, but you know, some weeks apart of having to areas where I'm exposed to very spiritual or strong energy, you know. So yeah, because I have continuously found the Sedona trip to be ironic. Because we only went there because that was our only option for real. We used a timeshare. I also finessed me a free vacay, free week vacay by going to one of their meetings there. Um, and yeah, I feel like there's something else I wanted to mention, but I can't remember. Oh, bitch, I did, really quick. I did want to mention that ATV shit was scary, but it was fun. It was fun, but because I wasn't gonna go for real. I definitely wasn't gonna pay to go because I didn't want to drive. I didn't want my own thing, but um, since my friend was going and she wanted me to go with her, and since it was free for her to have a buddy, then I was like, okay, you know, because those ATVs, like people can actually get seriously hurt. And when we were there, we were going on this scary part. I was just like, child, but it actually ended up being really fun. Um, the tour I did was really cool. The tour guide was kind of okay, but overall the tour was cool. Um, and we ate good food while we was there, and just overall had a good time. So I hope you're doing well, girl. Just keep believing, keep uh, you know, regulate yourself through it for real. Oh, last thing, that's why I was going to mention the stillness meditations, because that is why I brought the stillness meditations back, where I just sit down and observe what comes up, if anything does. I think right now I need to hold space for that. When I'm in positions in life where I feel even more vulnerable or more afraid, I can feel fear resurrecting itself. Then I start to bring back these meditative times into my day to help, because they do help. I need to stay level-headed. I need to stay clear-headed. And I need to, you know, take intentional steps forward right now. So, and I know what I want to do for real. I just don't necessarily always know how to execute it. So now that's what I've been cooking up, and I've got a lot of framework laid out for me. So I'm gonna use that and figure my shit out. Oh, all right, girl. For this one, if you got this far in the video, drop those mountain emojis. If there's red ones, drop red ones, but I don't know if there are. But for Sedona, because that's what a lot of this vlog was about. So drop those mountain emojis, and I shall see you next week, girl.